Story time. Who the fuck was I dating for 4 years? Let's get into it. So when I was 19, I was a junior in undergrad, and I had broken up with my long-term boyfriend probably like a year prior, and so I hadn't dated anybody yet. My friends were telling me, oh, you need to go out, you need to enjoy campus, because freshman year and sophomore year of college, I was in a relationship. Junior was my first year, a single Pringle. So this night in February, there was a Divine Nine Greek event on campus. It was supposed to be a really big deal because the Deltas were coming back to campus after they had been suspended for a few years for, doing that thing that sororities and fraternities don't do, if you catch my drift. So while I'm at the event, of course, like I said, I hadn't dated anybody for a long time, so I was staring a little hard at the chocolate mints, just a little bit. So when the Sigmas start strolling, there's this one guy, me and him keep making eye contact. When I say eye contact, like, we're like making like googly eyes. He's spinning, locking in. He strolling, locking in. Like every time he would look away, he would lock back in with me. Like there was no confusion that I was the lucky winner of the night. So once they finish strolling and the show ends, everybody starts packing it up and they're leaving. I'm talking with my friends. We're talking about what we're going to go do after, if we're going to stop at Con. Never wanted to fucking stop at Con. Back to the story. So yeah, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And then I look over and I see him again. We make eye contact again. And he starts walking towards me. In my mind, I'm like, this is exactly how we go in the movies. All the movies say this is what happens. Then we get married. We live happily ever after. We have the kids. All that good jazz, right? So I was about to get my happily ever after. So I thought. He walks up to me. He's like, oh, you didn't tell me you were going to be here. Oh. For me to tell you that I was going to be here, that means I know you. Sir, I don't know you. But I can't let him know that I don't know him. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I just play along. And I'm like, yeah, why didn't you tell me you were coming to campus? We could have hung out before the show or whatever. This sassy ass man gonna go, it's not like you would have responded anyway. See, now it's clicking. You're one of the people that I just never responded to. Got it. So me and him are going back and forth having cute banter. And he goes, well, we're about to head out of here. Hit me up when you get a moment. Again, I don't know this man's name. I don't know where he's from. I don't know nothing. Hit you on what? Hit you up with what? Again, I don't know you. So at this time, anytime any guy asks for any contact information from me, I only gave him Snapchat. So I knew to start looking there. So I'm looking through stories, and I see his jacket. So I'm like, boom, this is him. So I slide over and I'm like, oh, hey, this is S. What are you doing tonight? He texts me back like immediately. And he's like, oh, nothing. I'm actually about to head home. They didn't know what they wanted to do. What are you getting into tonight? So I'm like, oh, nothing. So long story short, I ended up going to his house. We are watching like anime, The Office. Like we're just like rotating between shows. And he at one point goes, oh, can you wake me up at 6 o'clock so that I can finish my homework? Sir, I am not your mother. That should have been the first red flag. But it wasn't. I was just like, oh, he's responsible. He needs to get his homework done. Stupid. So I set an alarm. And I'm like, cool, yeah, I'll wake you up, no problem. Bro, I have never heard a louder smoke detector than the one he had in that off-campus apartment. I did not sleep the whole night. Every 3 seconds, it was going boop, boop, boop. I was going insane. So I didn't even sleep a wink. By the time the alarm goes off, I am already up. I wake him up. I'm like, hey, I'm about to dip. I gotta go. it was nice knowing you. Essentially, I'm assuming this is like a one-time thing. Bye. He's like, text me when you get back to your dorm. I'm like, cool, will do. At the time, I was an RA, so I had to do the walk of shame back into my dorm, past the DAs, past my other RA family, like, knowing that I had stayed out all night. So I dart to the elevator, I get upstairs, and while I'm getting upstairs, he texts me. He's like, oh, I had a good time, like, we should hang out again sometime. And I'm like, oh, cool, wasn't expecting that. So we make a date to go get smoothies later on in the week, to just talk, I guess, to actually get to know each other, see each other in daylight. So fast forward like a day or two, we go to a tropical smoothie and we go on a little date. I order my original Bahama Mama. He orders something like with peanut butter or whatever, and we take a seat. The moment we sit down, I kid you not, this nigga started talking about his ex. And I mean, like, I think I may have asked a question, like, when was your last relationship or something like that? And the entire date ended up just becoming about her. Again, another red flag. Essence, you should have left. I'm giving myself grace. So, like I said, I'm letting him talk because at the same time, like I said previously, I just got out of a long-term relationship. I get it, like, when you're still kind of trying to maneuver through life, but you're a little sad, little sad, bro. It's okay. So we make another date for probably, I don't know, like a day or two after, but then COVID happens and it shuts down everything. I go back to my dorm and I kid you not, like, my hall director is like, emergency meeting. Y'all gotta get the fuck ASAP. So fast forward like a week and everybody's back at home. I'm back at home. He's from New York, but like I was saying, he had off-campus housing, so he just kind of stayed there, and I went back home. So we're still texting though. Like, we're texting, we're FaceTiming, like, he's talking to my mom. Like, things are progressing in a way that you think, oh, this is heading somewhere, right? Right. So then one day, I just started to notice, like, the replies started to get shorter. Like, he was occupied. I would call and FaceTime, he wouldn't pick up. Suspicious, no? So during this time, he had gone to New York to go back home to his aunt's house. And I'm just thinking maybe she has him doing stuff. Like, he did share that she was older, that kind of thing. But then he proceeds to tell me that his aunt's not there. So I'm like, what is keeping you so preoccupied then? Like, what do you have going on? Y'all, I wish I was lying. Why the next text that he sends me, he's like, oh, this girl that I have in my apartment with me for the week, like, she's getting on my nerves. Like, I can't wait for her to leave. Essentially bashing the girl to me. I didn't know there was another girl. Listen, I may have ignored the first red flags, but this flag was in my face, flagging. So I basically tell him, I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't know there was another girl. You're telling me you want to be with me and all this other stuff. So if there's another girl, you need to get rid of the other girl. He's like, yeah, I'm trying. It's complicated. She won't, like, leave me alone. She's like a stage 5 clinger type shit. Well, I said, until you get rid of her, there's no us. Part 2. Alright, y'all. So part 2 of Who the Fuck Was I Dating? So the week finishes out and the girl leaves. When she leaves, he claims, they figured everything out. They're going their separate ways, as they should have previously, right? So he comes back to Connecticut and we plan a date to see each other. And the date is hiking. It was COVID. My mama was not letting me go to anybody's house. The best thing I could offer was an outside event, and hiking it was. Let me preface this story by saying we are both black, so hiking in a new area that neither of us knew was a journey that I did not prepare myself for that day. Halfway into the hike, y'all, we get lost in the trails. We get so lost, we are off the trail. We see nobody. While we're trying to get back to the trail, we see a snake run deeper into the hiking area, get lost even more. And at that point, I'm pretty sure that God is sending me all the signs that this is a no-go. So I know you're asking, how do you go from God sending you the signs to this is a no-go to spending 4 years with somebody? Listen. So after we get lost, he GPSes us like that to the road, and we get back to civilization. We can see cars and stuff, which is a plus from where we were just at previously. However, we have to walk a good 30 minutes back to the beginning of the trail to get to the car. So on the walk back to the car, we're really getting to know each other because this is also still fresh. So we're talking about siblings, we're talking about family, everything except for another girl at this point, thank God. And during that walk, that's when I really realized, oh shit, I really like this person. This is someone that is different than other people that I've talked to, different than other people that I've dated. And I would love to see where this goes because his mind was just very different. And as you know, if you're in this dating scene in today, different is rare. So fast forward through the rest of 2020, we spend the rest of the summer together and pretty much do all the couple of things. We go on dates, we went on hikes, we went on picnics, of course, still outside dates because my mama was not playing with COVID-19. Okay. So fast forward to October 2020, which is a big month for us because the 12th is my birthday, the 21st is his birthday, and then the 19th would soon become our anniversary a couple of days after. So in 2020, I was turning 21, and my parents threw me a huge party. All of my best friends came, my favorite family. He came as well. He met a lot of my family for the first time at this event. He also did ask me if he could bring a friend so that, he wasn't just kind of sitting in the corner, not mingling with somebody. And, I'm never going to be the one to deny someone any kind of comfortability. So I went ahead and said, yeah, why not? So I do have to mention that he did have 2 girl best friends. I know, another red flag. I had met them both by this time. We had spent time on FaceTime calls, hung out with them and Kiki. We did all the girly things. So I had no reason to believe that there was anything shady going on behind my back. The friend that he does invite, let's call her A, is real chill, real down to earth, and I was like, yeah, she can come too because I'm cool with her. I would, at this point, consider them close associates on the way to being friends. As soon as A and him lock, at the party, all of my family members, especially my women family members, are like, watch that. And me being naive and young and dumb, I'm like, y'all, calm down. Y'all just not used to someone having a girl best friend. They're just close, that's how they are. My mama, my godmoms, because I have 2, so that's 3 people at this point. My aunts, that's 5 people at this point. My grandmother, that's 6 people at this point. All within the span of an hour are like, that's fishy right there. I think nothing of it. I push it to the back of my mind because I asked him numerous times, have you ever had any relations with any of your friends? And he told me no. Wholeheartedly, bold face, straight face, swear to God, left hand on the Bible, no. And let me just say, by year 3, I had found out that he had lied about both of them, and he actually had relations with both of them, one at the same time as me. But I'm getting too ahead of myself, so stay tuned. So we finished on my birthday party. Everything is great. I had an amazing time. Fast forward to the 19th, he's acting real secretive. He's like, I need you to meet me here. Let's go see a movie, all this other stuff. At this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go see a movie. I'm not thinking much of it. But when we arrive to the movie theaters is empty. And it's the middle of the day. So I'm like, what is really happening here? So we walk into this theater, and I kid you not, it's pitch black, but I see a bunch of people just sitting at the beginning of the entrance, and I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? So I see a bunch of cameras pointing out towards me, and he rented out this movie theater to ask me to be his girlfriend. So in the beginning of the theater, you know, the like walkway, he has like all his friends lined up on the side, or his like Sigma bros, and they're like all handing me roses, and they're like, will you be my girlfriend, will you be my girlfriend, will you be my girlfriend, will you be my girlfriend? And I get to the end of him, and he's like, no, but seriously, will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, my man, my man, my man. So, you know, like, at this point, we're really locked in. Like, we're together. We're not just kind of together. We're real life boyfriend, girlfriend. We obviously, having had spent about the past year together, were, you know, used to being around each other's friends. So my best friends, Anna and Mo, they know him. Like, we've all hung out. We've hung out in groups with his friends. Like, I take my bitches with me everywhere. So soon after the whole him asking me to be his girlfriend, you know, I received a message from one of his line brothers, and you know, they're like, his birthday's in a few days, we really wanted to throw him a party, but like, we need help. And I'm like, guys need a girl help, ain't nothing wrong with that. Y'all, they didn't need my help, they needed me to do it. They did nothing. Okay, his birthday was in T-3 days, and there was nothing done besides a cake. So for 2 days, me and Anna, we scramble. I'm talking, we're going to Marshall's, we're going to Walmart, we're going to Target, we're getting decorations, we're getting gifts, we're getting everything that you need for a party. I will say that he was very blessed with the Line brothers and the, you know, Zeta sisters that he does have, because they really pulled it together and we did it. But y'all, I was tired. I mean, from top to bottom, it was a lot for me for like 3 days straight. It was a lot. He comes to the party, he's so surprised, surprise, you know, everybody's like, oh my God, happy birthday, all the birthday things, you know. I did the damn thing. I'm just gonna say it, like, I'm just gonna pat myself on the back. I did the damn thing. I'm the daughter of Miss Make It Happen, and my mama showed me a few things. So at this party is the first time I meet the other best friend in person. Let's call her D. And D is, they're cool. Like I said, we had talked on FaceTime, all this stuff. So I see her, she's like, oh my God, can I give you a hug? Again, like, I have no reason to think that they're shady, because they all embraced me. So halfway through the party, me, Anna, and Mo, we leave because, you know, my mom has this tradition, like, where she would decorate our room fully out for our birthdays, and I wanted to do that for him. Like, I wanted him to experience that, especially because he wasn't gonna have his family around for his birthday. So we left the party, we went to his house, and we decorated his house for him. In the process of us decorating his house, we see an old cracked iPad, and Anna is like, bitch, go through it. I go through it, and y'all won't believe what I found. Part 3. Y'all ready to find out what I found on that iPad? Part 3 of Who the Fuck Was I Dating? So at this point, after we find the iPad, me, Anna, and Mo are in a circle like this. Just like staring over the iPad, like going through it fast, because he's waiting for us to come back so I can get him, because the party's coming to an end. And y'all know, like, when y'all start going through his stuff, like, you don't know where to start. I'm like, do I go through the photos? Do I go to Instagram? Do I go to messages? Like, I got about 2 minutes, and I need to make the 2 minutes count. See, my girls, they think smart. So they're like, just see what app he had open last. So I go ahead and like double tap the circle. And the last app that he had open was Instagram. So boom, we go to Instagram, and the DMs, y'all, they're flooded. So we're seeing old and new DMs. I'm seeing like new DMs that are flirty. He's like telling girls, oh, you've been working out. I can tell that you've been like really doing your sit-ups or doing your squats, blah, blah, blah. He's like really into fitness. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. Maybe you're being helpful, but at the same time, it seems like flirting, and no. Then we go to messages. And then the messages, yeah, you need to always start with them damn messages. Let me just say that. So we go to the messages, and the first message I see is from A. It's like their text thread. And A has another best friend, a girl best friend. And I guess they must have been flirty or whatever, him and the girl best friend. And he's basically telling A, oh, she has like the biggest titties I've ever seen. I just want to like suck them, all this other shit. And A's like, actually like, ha ha ha, you're so funny. But at the same time, she's also telling him like, you have a girl now. You need to chill. And he's like, oh, there's nothing I'm saying that's wrong. It's the truth, blah, blah, blah. I would never do anything, but you're still actively saying it, even though she's telling you, like, slow the fuck down. At this point, like, I don't even get to look at anything else because he's calling me. He's basically like, oh, where are you at? I'm ready to go. Like, I'm going to go home. So me, Anna, and Mo, we're just sitting there staring at each other like, girl, he just asked you to be his girlfriend like 3 days ago. What do you do now? So I'm like, I'm gonna play it cool, because one thing for certain, if there's ever some foul play, there's gonna be more foul play. Like when a guy thinks he got away with something, he's gonna just keep doing it. So I'm just gonna collect more evidence, so when I do bring it to him, there's nothing for him to deny. So amongst the gifts that I had got him outside of the party, I got him like one of those like male Coach like sling bags. I had got him like, I don't know, like shit for his room, because he did not own a fucking matching comforter. Just like womanly things that you know that someone needs as a man that he's probably not going to buy for himself. However, there were things that I was definitely supposed to give him. I think I had like got him a pair of shoes, and Anna and Mo were like, he doesn't deserve that. Don't give him that. Like there was about 5 things that he was supposed to get, and they were like, he does not deserve that. Do not give him that. And we definitely went back and returned it the next day. So boom, we finished out October, and what's after October? November. And what's in November? Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving was going to be the first time I met his family in person. My family, we're really close. Like I told him, before we go to your family's house, we have to do Thanksgiving with my family at my house, because I'm not going to be at my house, leave, go to your house, and then come back and do Thanksgiving with my family. Like you live a whole hour plus away. We're not doing that. It is fair to mention that I was sick, y'all. I was sick as a dog. Look, I was sick bad. So in the process of us prepping dinner at my house, I'm also prepping a dessert so that I can bring to his house later, so that I don't show up to his mom's house empty-handed. Like, I was raised right. You don't do no shit like that. So this Thanksgiving, Anna was spending it with me and my family as well. So while I'm in the process of making the dessert, Anna gets there early. Of course, like, we're best friends. My family knows her. She just jumps in the kitchen. She starts helping my mom make stuff. But she realizes that I'm sick. And she's like, you need to be laying down. What the fuck? So after we eat and everything, I'm full. Now I'm full and I'm sick. I really don't want to go anywhere. And at this time, he didn't have a license. He didn't have a car. So I was driving all the way to upstate New York. So he's rushing me at this point, because I'm assuming his mother is rushing him and like, hey, you need to hurry up and get here. We're waiting on you, XYZ. So I'm hurrying up, getting ready, getting myself together. And him and Anna are like bickering, because Anna's like, why are you making her go up there if she doesn't feel well? One thing about my friends, they don't play when it comes to me. So when I say Anna and him are going at it, like Anna's not sparing him any nothing. At this point, I already know that she wasn't feeling him too much when we found him the iPad. So she really wasn't feeling him now that I'm sick and he's trying to make me go somewhere. I hurry up. I finish getting ready because I can already hear the bass coming in Anna's voice. And once she get there, I can't bring her back down here. And I'm not trying to have her here and then him here. And I'm sick. And I'm just here in the middle. Like, I'm going to pass on that one. So finally, I finish getting ready. Me and Anna and him, we all walk out because Anna's going home at this point. I leave. Anna's just like, yeah, let me know when you get there. He says bye to Anna. Anna says nothing to him. Yeah, at that point, Anna was over his shit. We hurry up. We get to upstate New York. It took us about an hour and a half to get there in the dark. And if you know upstate, you know there's no street lights. There's no nothing. You're just hoping and praying you don't hit a deer. So the first thing that happens when we get there is his mom greets us at the door. She gives him a hug and a kiss, and she's like, oh my God, I missed you. And then she gives me a hug, and she's like, oh my God, thank you so much for bringing him here. We brought this house like 3 years ago. He's only been here twice. Red flag. Why have you only been to your mother's house twice in the last 3 years? Make it make sense. So we get in there. I do remember him saying that he has 2 sisters, but I only see one of them, the youngest one. So I ask him, I'm like, oh, where's your other sister? Like, are we waiting for her? They're like, no, we're not waiting for her to eat. Get a plate. Okay, got you. So I get my plate. I'm making conversation with his sister. She's like, oh, you're so pretty. I'm like, thank you, so are you. Like, I'm asking her about school, you know, just trying to make a good first impression. So the older sister finally gets there, but when she gets there, we're all sitting down at the table, like eating dinner. And she makes a remark. She's like, oh, nobody waited for me or something like that. And she comes with a friend. So her and the friend get their plates. The friend sits next to me, and then like the older sister, she sits almost like diagonal from me. And me and the friend, like, we're kind of like chatting it up. She's saying how she's an RA. I'm telling her how I'm an RA. All the other good jazz. I'm thinking good conversation. And then the mom asked him, she's like, oh, like, when you guys go on dates, who pays? And I'm like, that's kind of an odd question to ask. Why is that even topic of discussion? But okay. So I just tell her, I'm like, you know, at that point, we were both students. So if we went on, like, a day worth of a date, if we went to, like, a movie and a dinner, I told her, like, I'll pay for the movie. He'll pay for the dinner, like, maybe, like, the snacks at the movie. But, you know, I am a very independent woman. My parents raised me to be that. And I have my own money. Way more than her son, may I add. And so the moment I say that, the older sister was not feeling that. She was like, oh, I'm never paying for no date with no man. That's just wrong, all this other stuff. The younger sister wasn't feeling what she was saying. And she was like, I see nothing wrong with that. People are not going to just take care of you, X, Y, Z. Now they're bickering. Like, they're going back and forth, fighting cats and dogs at the dinner table, may I add. Like, we're just sitting there, and I'm, like, having my fork, just looking down at my plate, moving around the potatoes that I didn't finish eating, because they're going at it and nobody's saying nothing. This just lets me know that this is something that happens very often, and I see why he doesn't come home often. So I'm, like, nudging him, like, under the table, like, I'm ready to go. We do dessert, we pack it up, we leave, dip on out. Go back to Connecticut and continue living our normal lives. Anna was definitely not feeling what happened on Thanksgiving. She wasn't feeling the iPad, and she wasn't feeling how he was treating me in our early relationship. He would do weird shit and be like, oh, come over, and I'll come over for like a day or two, and then he'll be like, oh, but I'm ready by myself. And then expect me to leave, and when I leave for him to be by himself, he's with his friends. You don't want to be by yourself. You don't want to be with me. You want to be with your friends, but you're being shady about it. Fast forward to an on-campus event that they were having with the sororities and the fraternities, and him and Anna get into it in front of everybody. Part 4. All right, y'all. So part 4 of Who the Fuck Was I Dating? After discussing with Anna and the peanut gallery, I definitely left out a few important parts last time, so let's just rewind it a little bit. All right, so the event was actually a Divine 9 step show that was happening on campus. And the reason why Anna was so upset was because that morning, me and him had gotten into a really big fight. And of course, he had to go to the step show to be there early to be part of the participants. And I was going there with Anna. So I had pulled up to Anna's house. When I got to Anna's house, I was crying. And I knew that if Anna saw me crying at this point because she really hated him, it was going to be a whole another situation. So I'm sitting outside in Anna's driveway, and in Anna's driveway, they have a Ring camera. And so she sees me on the Ring camera, and she calls me, and she's like, why are you still in the car? Why haven't you come in the house yet? And I just, like, start sniffling, and I'm like... And so once I get inside the house, she's already pissed, because she already knows this is the routine at this point, why I'm crying. It's Mr. Not So Lovable. And so I tell her that we had gotten into a fight, that he was on some bullshit, essentially the same stuff that we always got into a fight about. Him being overly friendly, talking to other women in their DMs, not wanting me to be around, like just clear signs that he did not like me, now looking back at it. So on the way to this event, Anna's pissed. I mean, she's pissed as hell. Okay, I know she's pissed because we don't really say much the entire ride there. Not 2 words was said, just a lot of music and a lot of silence. So we get there to the step show. We were meeting a friend, so we had met her, and the 3 of us sat in the stands and watched them stroll and all that shit. At the end of the show, I go down, and me and him just say like, hey, he gives me a hug, and he goes to hug Anna, and Anna stiff arms him. She's like, don't fucking touch me. And he's like, oh, for real, that's how it is? And Anna's like, yeah, I don't fuck with you. She says she don't fuck with him, and then he look at me and I look up. Because this is the first time that we've been in a public setting and the 2 of them are doing this 1-2 bicker that they did all the time. And he's like, what's up with her? And I'm like, she says she don't fuck with you. Like, and I guess his ego was hurt, so he was like, all right, word, whatever. And then he goes and he walks away. And Anna is just like, exactly. At this point, like, us hanging out, the 3 of us, was out of the question. It couldn't happen. And from that moment on, it was just really hard to even spend time with them, because we usually had hung out as a trio, the 3 of us, or like the 3 of us plus his friends or whatever. So now Anna's like, I don't even want to be around him. Being on the same planet as him was too much for her. And around this time, I was also in grad school. Like, I had just started grad school. So the time that I had to be Inspector Gadget and looking iPads and phones and all this stuff, I didn't have it. I didn't have it. I didn't want to have it. Every time I looked, I found something. At that point, I felt like SZA. I can't see, bitch, I'm blind. I don't want to see nothing. And it's also fair to mention that I was in grad school full-time and working full-time. And he was failing out of grad school. Yeah. Around that time, he also had to start the process of getting his driver's license because his permit was about to expire. So, no lie, myself and my dad were teaching him how to drive. Like, there's no other way to put it, but yeah, we taught him how to drive pretty much. So I want to say probably around like late summer, fall, he passes his test, and then he is then gifted a car for Christmas that year. So his aunt gifts him like this brand new 2022 Kia. Like, it's fresh off the lot, very much what you would like to have as your first car as a guy. Like, you know, she did her big one. Although she did her big one, this is around the time that I found that I guess she didn't like me. So one day we're in the car. She doesn't know that he has her connected to the speaker, and she basically insinuates like, oh, watch out for her. Those are the kind of girls that trap you. You know, she sees you have a nice car, all this other stuff, basically insinuating that I see that his family has money, so I would try to insert myself into their family by having a baby by a man who was failing out of grad school and didn't want me around and wasn't really paying for much of anything and didn't own a matching comforter before I met him. Right. That didn't have a job at this point either. Right. Okay. So I look at him after the phone hangs up because he just doesn't say anything. He just lets her say that. He doesn't say like, oh, she's not like that. Nothing of that sort. And at this point, we have been together for about 2 years. Like, I've gone on vacation with his family, everything. But I'm trying to trap him. Right. Okay. So he was gifted the car for December 2021. So we're going to fast forward to March 2022. March 2022, I had a vacation planned with my godmom and my godsister to go to Jamaica. And then that same weekend that I came back, me and him were going to basically do a turnaround trip and drive down to North Carolina from Connecticut to go to Dreamville. And right, we went to Dreamville with tickets that I brought. Okay. So like I said, this was a turnaround trip. I may have been home for like a day, if that. May have just had enough time to pack. Nothing more. I'm so tired that I sleep if not the entire way, like majority of the way. I may have only driven about 3 hours, and that's about an 9 hour trip. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna go take a shower, I'm gonna get straight in the bed, I'm gonna prepare my body so that we can do everything Dreamville related tomorrow, because it starts tomorrow. Dreamville was cool. All of Dreamville was cool. So like I said in part 2, at this point, I had known his friends for 3 years. Him and I had been dating for 2 years, and I'm talking about the 2 girl best friends. So around this time, he had a friend that was going through a breakup, and A was involved in that breakup. Let's just say that part of the reason why they broke up was that he was a serial cheater, and somebody that he serial cheated with was A. Yeah. So during that time, I guess her and A had like their own friendship, and A had been her friend this entire time, was in this girl's face, pretending to be her friend, and was doing shady shit with her man behind her back. But that's not my story to tell, so that's where I'm gonna stop talking about that. So yeah, she's on the phone with us, telling us basically about how she found out that A was involved, how he's messy, all this other stuff. And she hangs up the phone with us, and I'm just like, damn, I can never even imagine like thinking someone's my friend and they're doing this behind my back. Like that's why I just think that it's better if you aren't friends with people that you have in like relations with, all this type of stuff. And I guess like the Grinch's heart must have grew 3 sizes that day, because he goes, oh, I need to tell you something. So just so you guys understand the setup, I am driving his brand new 2022 Kia. He decides that now is a perfect time to tell me while I'm driving his brand new car that he has something that he needs to tell me. And obviously it can only be so many things based off of what we were just talking about. Yeah, part 5. All right, y'all. So I know I've been MIA. My fault. Okay, my fault. I am a small business owner, so go check out Sunday Essence Co. I sell candles and shit. But back to the story. All right, so yeah, we're in the car, and he's like, I got to tell you something. And so I just look at him, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, well, I fucked A. And I look at him, because remember, y'all, A was at my birthday party, and my family were like, that's the girl that my family was like, oh, need to watch that, they've been too close, all this other stuff. And I asked him numerous times, have you had relations with this woman? He wanted to act like he was Bill Clinton and this was Monica Lewinsky. He was like, I have not had relations with that woman. I never had relations with that woman. And so then I'm like, okay. And he's like, but that's not it. That's not it. Keep in mind, y'all, I'm still driving this man's car. Like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, I also fucked D too. And I just look at him, because like, I'm not gonna hold you, not to like, no shade, no tea, A is a bad bitch. So he's like, oh, I fucked A. I'm like, okay. But then he's like, I fucked D. And I'm like, you just out here just fucking anything at this point. Like, you don't have a type. Your type is just anything with a gaping hole that you can put your dick in. Great. I'm with a whore. Ugh. So he tells me this, and I automatically just go mute. Like, I just don't say anything to him. I don't look at him. I don't even want to be breathing the same air as him. Like, if it was up to me, I would have crashed his car and walked home. That's in Virginia to Connecticut. So I kid y'all not, y'all. Like, at this point, like, at the next rest stop, I just pull over. I tell him, like, I don't want to drive anymore. And he gets in the driver's seat. I get in the passenger seat, and we just don't talk for the remainder of the ride. Like, I don't have nothing to say to him. Like, you made me look like an idiot. You made me look like an idiot in front of my friends. You made me look like an idiot in front of my family. You made me, like, go against... At this point, I had already gone against my friends for you. Like, I'm beefing with my best friend at this point because of you. Like, I'm thinking that this is something more than obviously it was, because you can't even be honest to me. Like, then that's such a shitty ass feeling, like, when you're dating someone. I'm sorry if anyone has ever gone through that. So yeah, like, we finally get to his apartment back in Connecticut, and he just asked me, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like I not really, because the way that he explained it to me, he was like, he fucked A like when they were younger, like when they were in undergrad together, so probably like a year before he met me. and then he ended up messing with D, basically in the beginning of us like being in our talking stages or whatever. But during that time, he still had me being friends with her. So I guess whenever like they were messing around, like I was talking to her, like I was getting to know her. Like she was basically telling me like, oh yeah, like I think you're such a good fit for him, like all this other stuff. And as a woman, I just don't respect that, and I don't respect you, and I like and for A, it was a simple fact that even though it was before me, when I asked you about it, you lied to me. I don't care if you were like if you y'all, this shit still triggers me, as you can see. All right, y'all, so part 6 of who the fuck was I dating. So yeah, after the whole Dreamville situation, we kind of just continued business as normal because there really wasn't much else that I could do at that point. Like, yeah. Obviously, now looking back at it, I do know that the decision that I should have made would have been to have leave during that point, but I still had more fight in me. So at this point, Anna had moved to Florida to start her grad program at FIU. We were supposed to move in together while she was living in Connecticut. However, things just didn't seem to line up with us on that. And that ended up not happening. So even though things with Anna didn't go according to plan to be roommates, I still wanted to move out of my house. And with her now being in Florida, I really didn't have many options on people to move in with. So it just so happened that around the time that I was looking to move, his lease was ending, and we decided to get a place together. Looking back at it now, we were definitely not in a healthy space to have even been moving in together with each other. Like, the last thing that we should have been doing was moving in together. And let me just preface this by saying the entire moving process was hell. So originally we had decided on one apartment. When it came down to move into that apartment, I want to say probably like the week of the person who was living there before us, they refused to move out. So we just couldn't move into that apartment. His lease was up. We were both now in my tiny bedroom in my mom's house, and we needed to find a place to live quick. So yeah, I want to say probably like within that week of the first deal falling through and us doing some searching, we found another apartment that we ended up liking. One thing that was a big thing that we needed was a 2-bedroom, because we said, oh yeah, if we break up, at least like we'll both be comfortable. That should have been a red flag right there. Like, girl, he does not plan on staying with you. So yeah, we found this cute little 2-bedroom. Were we being overcharged for it? Absolutely. But it was cute, and we signed the lease and it was ours. Like I said, at this point, Anna had moved to Florida, and our relationship really started to take a strain from the relationship that him and I had, and just life in general. So I want to say it probably was a good month or two before I even talked to Anna to even tell her that I had moved in with him. And let's just say she wasn't too happy. So I'm literally in the apartment in the living room, and I'm on FaceTime with Anna, and she's like, where are you? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in my apartment. She's like, your apartment? I said, who are you living with? And I just stopped, got silent. And I was like, And she was like, shut up. No, you didn't. You did not move in with him. Keep in mind, she's saying this, but she's like screaming it, and he's in the kitchen. It's like right off the living room. So he's hearing her being like, why would you move in with him? And I was just like, okay. So I want to say around that time, that's like when Anna and I like really just stopped talking. It wasn't more so like an argument that led us to stop talking. She kind of was just like, I love you and you're my best friend, but I can't watch you be with this. Like, this is a train wreck waiting to happen, and I don't want to watch it happen. And she literally told me, like, when you break up with him, call me. But until then, you're on your own on this one. And Anna and I didn't talk for an entire year. So not only was the process of us getting into the apartment hell, I want to say within like 2 months of us living in the apartment, I got laid off from my job. So God was definitely sending me signs prior to signing that lease. And I think once I signed the lease, he was like, oh, you're grown. You can handle this by yourself. And he just like let the floodgates open. So yeah, I want to say we moved in maybe like September, and I paid September and October rent, and come November, I was laid off. He did pay all of November's rent by himself, I will say. So I am going to give credit where credit is due, but I think that he built up like this idea between like his friends and his family that he paid all of the rent for the entire time that I was unemployed, which was not the truth at all. So he paid all of the rent by himself for 1 month. And for the remainder of the 7 months that I was unemployed, my dad or I paid the rent. Well, my portion of the rent. Keep in mind, even though I'm jobless, like I'm still doing Instacart. For a very long time, I wasn't able to get unemployment, but when I was able to get unemployment, I was doing things like still keeping up with the Walmart run to the house, or still doing the grocery shopping, like not really expecting him to give me money back because, like, you know, he was holding it down for the months I wasn't able to get unemployment. One thing that did start as soon as I was unemployed was that, like, he started to have a lot, and I mean a lot, of audacity. So he would do things like say that he's leaving with his friends, and I'd be like, oh, like, when are you coming back? And XYZ. And he would give me like a whole kind of like speech as to why he doesn't need to let me know where he's going, and this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. You know, just like things that were kind of issues when we were dating before I was unemployed. But like now that I was unemployed, it was like he started to lose respect for me, even though for majority of the relationship financially, I was carrying us. So it would come down to like he would feel as though he doesn't need to clean. He would feel as though he doesn't need to cook. Like doing laundry, like basically because I was unemployed, he felt as though everything in the house I should take care of. And I can understand if that was the case, if he was paying all of the bills, but he wasn't. So yeah, for like those 8 months, I kind of just bit my tongue and went along with it because I was like, bro, I'm unemployed, and the last thing I need to be bothered with right now is him and his mood swings. However, I will say me being unemployed allowed me to take a better look at our relationship and see exactly where the foundation was broken. And during that time, we did argue a lot more. And I will say I was very passive before when I was working, because I was working and I was a full-time grad student and I was paying bills. Like, it was just like there was a lot going on, and I don't have time to chase you to make sure you're doing right. You're either doing right or you're not. And I'm a firm believer that what's done in the dark will come to light. So now that I wasn't working, I had time like to actually realize like, oh, I don't think that you like me. Are we friends? Like, do we like to hang out? When was the last time we did something fun? When did we kind of get stuck in this old people's routine and we're only like 24 and 25? During this time, I also did begin to work on myself a lot more because it allowed me to have a lot more time for self-reflection. So I started doing things like going to therapy, just doing more healthy practices, like going to the gym every day, making sure my mental is right, journaling, just making sure that when the blessing of another job did come around, like I was willing and ready to accept it. And then I want to say, even though I was unemployed, we still decided to go to Dreamville that April. And as you know from the other parts, things always got interesting after or during the Dreamville trip. Stay tuned.